Good morning,
Hey,
Stephen
morning.
Reeker.
Ed Rose, good morning to you.
Okay, my friend, look, The Entrepreneurial Movement with Kim Hui. As I talked to you the other day, when I was up in Jersey, I was fortunate enough to meet Kim and listen to
Yeah.
her very inspiring vision of where Three's going and how she took another company from 5 people at her kitchen table to 10 billion in 13 years. So I did not have that video due to my phone issues. So I found the video of an interview with Corey and his wife's name?
With who?
Roush's, the Roush's.
Oh, yeah, Holly and Corbin Roush.
Holly and Corbin Roush. I'm sorry, my mind's a little slow every now and then. So, or maybe more than now and then. But anyway, this is it's a nice interview. So we'll be breaking this down into probably a 3-part series here. But
Perfect.
Anyway, here we go. It's kind of like how Kim got started in the industry and where she's going.
Awesome.
Hello, Three family. How is everybody on this Tuesday evening?
Man, what a great couple of weeks we've had. What a wonderful day we've had. It's been so busy, so much excitement in the air. Hopefully everyone out there is experiencing it. My name's Corbin Roush. This is Holly Roush. For those of you that knew, I know we've been sending out a lot of this meeting tonight or this Zoom tonight to a lot of guests. So we want to introduce ourselves and also be able to introduce our special guest tonight.
So we're tuning in from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know where in the world each of y'all are tuning in from, but how great is it to be a part of Three, a brand new company that's a global company around the world. And we're just getting started. We're just 2 weeks into this, launched on February 20th. And Corbin and I just have the pleasure of bringing somebody on, and I'm going to make sure that she gets her camera on. We're going to make sure she's unmuted. I think most of you guys know who this is because we have, we said a mystery guest, but we weren't so mystery. And so Kim, you're able to unmute and undo your camera on your own because I made you a co-host. We're excited to have you. And this is what's really fun about this is most of you haven't even seen Kim's face yet. You've seen her on videos out there, maybe a few presentations here or there, but things are happening fast and furious in the world of Three. And I can tell you a lot is due to this woman that we get to talk to tonight. She's been doing so much behind the scenes for months at end, probably putting in, she can tell you, 18 to 20 hour days, maybe more than that, maybe many, many sleepless nights, if any sleep at all having a son, I know, still at home. But she's doing it because she's passionate about it. So do you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, we got to meet Kim. It seems like just yesterday, but it's already been a little over a month that we got to meet you. We flew out and met her in Sedona, and I could just feel an energy about her that drew Holly in, where we just wanted to be a part of her vision and her dream and where she was gonna go. Very few people can cast a vision where people want to be a part of it. Where they're just like, wow, okay, I can see myself in that vision. And that's how it was the very first time we met Kim. We just got excited about the future and we just wanted to be a part of it. We wanted to know where we were going, how fast it could happen. How could we put it in fast forward? Her and Holly hit it off like, two long lost sisters. And it was a blessing for me personally as a husband that loves my wife, to have someone that can mentor my wife. We've been in the business for 18 years and she's never had a female mentor. Right. She's never, neither one really had a mentoring upline that was close to us. We kind of just ran and did things. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you this, it has been beyond amazing to have someone that we can go to and just talk. And the way she's poured into Holly, just by her attitude, her positive vibes that she sends out, just puts a smile on both our faces.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When we got to sit down and meet with Kim, you'd think, many of you with our former community and joining us today, This would be something that we'd be nervous about. Can it happen? How quick are we going to be able to pivot and shift and do this? And will people join us?
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, only God can make this miraculous thing that happen, because it happened so fast. We literally made a pivot and shift, all of us watching here, in just less than a week's period of time, and did it with such an awesome attitude. And that really only happens from the top down. It's really only possible from the top down. So I want to thank everybody that joined us tonight. I especially want everyone, you can put your hands together for Kim Hui. She's got years of experience. She's going to share that. Definitely, for sure, one of the top income earners in the industry, an absolute powerhouse. I think the thing that makes me the most in awe is knowing that she doesn't have to do this.
Yeah.
She didn't have to come out of retirement. She doesn't have to be on this Zoom with us tonight. She doesn't have to be launching 3. But I can't wait, just like y'all can't wait. So y'all are like, can y'all stop for a minute and let's turn it over? So everyone, I want you to cheer on Kim Hui, all the way from LA. She's tuning in, has homes in Sedona as well. And Kim, I just love for you to share with everyone just a little bit about you and your story and how you found network marketing.
Sure. Well, Holly and Corbin, thank you for having me here today to meet your group and meet your team. I think seeing how you guys pivoted in circumstances that came our way, just like the society last couple of years, and see how you pivoted, it speaks volume of who you both are in your leadership and in your ability to lead, as well as, more importantly, to serve the team. And so I'm very grateful, blessed to have you on the team on board with us on this incredible 3 platform. And 3, as a matter of fact, it's kind of interesting now. I see in social media and people are doing like this now, 3, right? 3. So anyway, I'm excited to meet your team here today and to share a little bit about myself, and we'll take it from there. And so basically, I got involved in the direct selling industry 30 years ago. I was 28 when I got involved in this industry. And so, and I was an accountant. I went to school, I graduated from college, and as an accountant, I actually worked for one of the Fortune 500 companies, an aerospace company here in LA area. And so actually in Century City. And so I was an accountant, senior accountant, managing huge project. Long story short, I knew that there was a glass ceiling. I wasn't getting any higher. So then I looked for another company. Then I moved on and worked for this company as a VP of operations. And so just when I thought that I was on the height of my corporate career, one day I was fired. I was laid off. So I was downsized, and I didn't know what I was going to do. All I knew was every day I would send out resumes. I would go to Starbucks coffee because I didn't know how to tell my parents that I got laid off. So this is many, many years ago in the old paradigm, how we're looking for jobs. And so I was sending out resumes and I couldn't find a job. Long story short, a friend of mine says, you know what, Kim, I'm going to help you. I have a friend who's very successful, who's looking for talent just like you. And so I was really excited, and I got all decked out in a suit, and I drove to Irvine, which is in Orange County in LA area. And so I thought I was going for an interview. So when I pull up to the building and I entered the building, there was like a couple of hundred people there, right? So I go, oh my gosh, I got competition. And so anyway, but I got into a room full of people and I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know what MLM was. I thought it was NMM, like only melt in your mouth and not in your hand. And so anyway, and I saw two things captivated me at that meeting. I was sitting very back at the door because I realized, I thought if I hang by that door and I didn't like it, I could sneak out, right? So what I saw was 2 things. One, I saw average people were achieving amazing things in life. I saw average people were achieving unaverage results, if that's a word. And the second thing I saw glimpse of when people were leaving, when the meeting was finished, I saw a glimpse of hope in people's eyes. And so I remember I show up and work in corporate America for 10 years back then, and never, ever had I shown up to work and people would clap for me, right? And so that was the first draw that drew me into the industry. Now, and now fast forward that has been 30 long years. So to answer your question, that is kind of how I got involved in the industry. I thought I was in for an interview. And so that's how I got involved in the industry 30 years ago.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. And one thing that, talking with Samson, your business partner, the other night, I think left me kind of in awe. And you probably don't even know the story I'm going to share, but you could just tell us what it's like, because some people don't realize the hours that you put in to get to the level that you're at. And he talked about you raising your son and getting on airplanes, and sometimes getting on airplanes at 4 a.m. to go overseas, leaving your 6-year-old son behind. And how, as a mom, that's hard. We want to be there to raise them, but yet you felt this calling to lead and serve others. And so tell us a little bit about the sacrifices, the time that you put in, and the reason behind that.
Yeah, actually at that time, my son was, let me see, it was 2000, when I started Worldly Travels, that was in 2000 and actually a little bit before 2009. So my son was born, so my son was like 5-6 years old. So I remember, it was tough. My husband's a physician. He has a medical practice here in the LA area. And so most of his like physician friends couldn't understand, like they think his wife is crazy, like have a comfortable life, and why is she so crazy, traveling the world and wanting to build something. So if you talk to my husband one of these days, he would tell you one of my dreams is, many years ago, was for myself to become a multimillionaire. And so that was always my childhood dream coming to America. I wanted to be a millionaire. And the second dream I had was I wanted to help a lot of people to become millionaires. When you tell my husband, when you meet my husband, he would tell that story. And so my husband says, you know what, for you to become a millionaire possible, but to help a lot of people to become millionaire, there's a little bit of because it's not up to within your control. And I'm not trying to control anything, I'm trying to influence. So anyway, long story short, when I got involved in the business, my son, in the previous platform, my son was 6 years old. And I remember there were times that my son would grab onto my leg, hold on my leg. And usually when you fly, like especially go to Asia, we would fly, red eye flight, midnight flight, you get there in the morning. So I remember many trips, my son would grab onto my leg and says, Mama, don't go. It's hard, your son, now looking back and you realize that, at such a young age, he couldn't control mom and couldn't tell mom not to go because mom had to leave. And so unbeknownst to him, I would leave the door and I'll be bawling. And my whole way, Samson at that time was driving me to the airport. And he would see that I'm trying to keep myself and stop from crying, but I just couldn't help it. And I would bawl all the way to my airport, checked in on the airplane, and I would cry myself to sleep. And the reason for that was because there's a sense of responsibility. You go out there and you cast a vision of what you wanted to build. You wanted to help change other people's lives. You want to help create other millionaires. And so, and when you cast that kind of vision, there's also that responsibility on your shoulder. And so, I chose to do that, and I was very blessed. My husband's very supportive of me doing that, and so, and that's what I did. I would go sometimes, 5 countries in 4 days. I would be home, and I'll be home. I'll be working. And then I will, and then 3 weeks later, I will go again. I did that month after month after month consecutively for at least 6 years. And so obviously my son grew up in this space. There's two schools of thought. You guys have kids, so you kind of know this. And there's 2 schools of thoughts. One school of thoughts that, you know what, you kind of were off balance a little bit. Yes, I was off balance a little bit. But, sometimes in life, we have to be off balance a little bit to gain balance for the rest of our life. And so I'm very blessed to be able to provide for my son, any school he wants to go to, things that, able to help broaden his horizon about this world with his worldly travels. So yes, there were sacrifices, but at the same time, the reward were abundant. Even though I was gone maybe 4, I try to make my trip within 7 days when I travel so I can be home with my son. But the rest of the time, I'm home 100% with my son, with whatever events it's got going, the ability to, the way I look at it is the ability to love. And so different schools of thought, some people say you got to be home all the time with your kid. But I also, from another perspective, I also set an example for my child, for my son. And so it was hard as a mom, and I'm sure you guys know that. And, there are times I would call and FaceTime my son. He goes, Mama, if you love me, you'll be home. Don't FaceTime me. So I know. And he's upstairs right now. He's 19 years old doing film and very talented, very gifted. And so, yeah, and I explained to him why mom has to work and why mom is doing what mom is doing. And so, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at there right now. We'll start on the next series. You know, this will be like a series of about three videos. I can't hear you, Steve. You there? I can't hear.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
There you go. Now I got you.
All right. Sorry, I was muted on my
That's all
earbud.
good. I know.
So many
Yeah,
so many places to mute and unmute. All right. So yes, it's a powerful story. Certainly, Kim made some big sacrifices to not only realize her dreams, but to really empower others in the same way, which ties in perfectly to the fact that we are the entrepreneurial movement, and piggybacking on what Kim is up to, on what our team, the Fierce Life team, is up to. You can find out more at temovement.com, or by all means look for me or Ed on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're everywhere, and TikTok. And we'd love to share some more information with you. Love to share why this business is enables us to generate additional income from anywhere. And I apologize. I was in transition. I had to stop at the mechanic. So I was doing that while we were doing our video. So, it's all good. But, the bottom line is we're here to lock arms with you, to empower you, to make that difference in other people's lives as well. And we'd love you to be a part of what we're up to with the entrepreneurial movement. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Ed.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at this. I mean, I guess about a week ago, I was fortunate enough to go up to New Jersey, and I saw Kim live. And I said that in the beginning, but
right,
the way Holly and Corbin said, her energy and belief. I mean, when you're in the room with her, I mean, you could just feel it. It's just very powerful. It really is. And I mean, I don't know if you can feel it through this video. It's probably a little harder, but I tell you what, when you're in the room with her, I mean, you believe when she tells you where this company's going to go, you believe it. It's just that simple.
Inspiring for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, like I said, we heard her out in Salt Lake City a few months ago, but exciting times, a lot of fun, and yeah. So anyway, it's just the entrepreneurial movement. We have the products, we have the platform, we have the leadership, compensation. So it's all there if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and lock arms and join us.
Yes, indeed.
So
absolutely. So please do.
Yeah, please do. And hey, look forward to the second part of this series tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, folks, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one. And Ed, we're back to our normal time tomorrow.
Oh, you got it.
All right, very good.
Steve,
all right,
stick around for 2 seconds.
Sure.